You know Allah talks about خطوات الشيطان. وَلَا تَتَّبِعُوا خطوات الشيطان. إِنَّهُ لَكُمْ عَدُوٌ مُبِينٌ. Do not follow the footsteps of Shaytan. Verily, he is a sworn enemy to you. And so here's what I want to focus on in this khutbah. What is the first of those footsteps? There's the first khutbah, the first footstep, because if you step in the first footstep, then you're likely to go down the trail. What does the first footstep of Shaytan look like when we face these types of things in our lives? And so let me give you an example. You read the hadith about the man who killed 99 people and then killed 100 people. The hadith is about the mercy of Allah. He sought Allah's forgiveness. I wonder what his first murder was like. I wonder what we know what the last one looked like. And the purpose of that hadith was to speak about redemption and the possibility of the mercy of Allah even for a person guilty of that crime. But I wonder what his first killing was like. That was a lesson that surely there's something that led him the first time to do that, and then a door opened for him. What led him? What was the argument? Was it a dispute? When did he first put blood on his hands to where it became normal for him to take another 99? That wasn't the premise of the hadith. But that's what you think about, right? If you're in that person's spot, where did this go? Sometimes we have stories and narrations from our tradition. It's not a hadith, but the famous narration of Barsisa, the man who ended up, going from a priest or a monk, a worshipper of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and went down this long track of committing adultery and then eventually committing murder and then lying to commit his murder or to cover up his murder. All of these different things that happen, right? But it's the first step that's actually emphasized in that story, that he got caught, he got hooked. And once he got hooked, it was downhill from there and the possibility of where Shaytan could lead you. So all this is to say that a lot of times we see someone as an individual in our community, or we see a phenomenon in our community that's really, really messed up, and we look at it and we say, oof, I don't want to touch that. What a monster. What a far person that is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What a devastating situation. We hate it. Sometimes it's very obvious to the eye. A person walks in the masjid and unfortunately we have those judgmental stares and looks, and it could be that person has put something behind them in the past, or it could be that person is coming to put something behind them in the past, but the looks like, oh wow. Or we hear of a bad situation. And we say, how could that person do that? Not in the means of, let's be introspective as a community, but in the means of mockery. How could that person go down that route where they've gone so far to commit such a grievous sin? And so the first footstep of Shaytan means going back and trying to see what happened, not for the intention of excusing their current behavior, but to learn from their mistakes. What do we do better as communities? What do we facilitate better? What do we do better as families? What do we do better as individuals? To learn, وَلَا تَتَّبِعُوا خُطُوَاتِ الشَّيْطَانِ. Don't follow the footsteps of Shaytan. And so I want to talk about this. Shaytan lays traps for you in accordance with two things. What's going to work and where you are. What's going to work and where you are. Where you are in your current spiritual state. So for example, if you're a good doer, he'll try to corrupt the intention of your good deeds. Or he'll try to take you from your good deeds to idleness first, to relinquishing those good deeds. Not straight from good deed to sin, but to get you lazy, take you from good deed to idleness. And then he'll take the idleness to minor sin, and then he'll take the minor sin to major sin, and then he'll take the major sin to disbelief. That's khutuwat al-shaytan summarized in brief, right? How do I take someone from here, where I was, right? Because Shaytan was a good doer himself, and bring them all the way to where I am right now. I know the process because I went through that process, right? And we find, subhanAllah, that what he ultimately wants to do is mess with your sense of recognition as well. You know, in the beginning, you recognize good and evil, and that in and of itself is good. But if you take enough steps, you don't know how far you are down the path at some point, right? You can't track where you've left, where you've departed from, and where you are going to. And that's why, one of the key tactics of Shaytan is al-bid'ah, is innovation. Innovation, because when a person is committing innovation, blameworthy innovation, they don't realize that they're doing anything wrong. So it introduces certain things into the religion, makes a person start to think that they're doing something good. Very powerful statement from Al-Hasan ibn Ali radiyallahu ta'ala anhuma. قال بلغنا أن إبليس قال سولت لأمة محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم المعاصي فقصموا ظهري بالاستغفار. He said that Iblis said that I have decorated, embellished, like when Yaqub alayhi salam, Jacob says to his sons, بَلْ سَوَّرَتْ لَكُمْ أَنفُسُكُمْ أَمْرًا, that yourselves have embellished an evil thing for you. He said, I tried to embellish al-ma'asi, the evil deeds, for the ummah of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, but they broke my back with istighfar. They seek forgiveness from Allah and Allah takes them back. So it's like, yes, some people will commit sin, but people come back to Allah. We just passed Arafah. May Allah have allowed all of us to be amongst the forgiven. Allahumma Aamin. People commit sin, they make istighfar, it breaks Shaytan's back. His life's work with you is gone. So he said, فَسَوَّلْتُ لَهُمْ ذُنُوبًا لَا يَسْتَغْفِرُونَ اللَّهَ تَعَالَى مِنْهَا وَهِيَ الْأَهْوَاءِ. So I decorated some other things for them. I embellished some other things that they don't even seek forgiveness from Allah for. And that is wishful thinking, al-ahwa, the innovative types of things that come into the religion, where they take these paths, they start to, in essence, lose recognition of what is good and what is bad. The Sunnah becomes unrecognizable to them. The true path of guidance becomes unrecognizable to them because they got it all figured out, or so they think.